Hey, what's up guys? Zach here with Racing Sim Tools, and today we're going to be doing a race at Barcelona. It's part of the RWB/RST League. Just started. Today is round 1. Me and Speed Demon, we are teamed up. We are in the AMG EVO 2020 for this league. One of those kind of tricky cars. Gets a lot of its aerodynamic control from anti-dive rather than bump stop, so it's a little bit more setup adjustment, so that's kind of why we picked it. Today's at Barcelona. There is a chance of rain. You can see in the practice. You actually can't see in the practice, but it's actually very cloudy. So we're kind of anticipating some rain at some point. But hope you guys are having a good Saturday, and it's going to be a lot of fun. 2 hours is the format. We're thinking we're going to do a 45-minute splash to go just to get me to the last stint to do 45 minutes, and then I'm going to get in the car and bring it home. Should be a lot of fun. I'm getting the fuel calculator set up, so nothing like some last minute adjustments. But thank you, New Type. Yeah, we just did all the intros. We recently hired a graphic artist to kind of get them consistent for us. But let's go ahead and jump into the game. If you guys have any questions about RST or anything, let me know. I'm not going to be doing the first 2 stints, so I won't be driving until about an hour into the race, and then I'll be jumping in the car. So I can easily talk, we can hang out, whatever you guys need. Let's go ahead and jump the game. So we're kind of top 10 right now in terms of practice. We did qualify P2 in the qualifying, so it should put us somewhere near the front. The grid's pretty tough though, pretty tight grid. We'll have to see where we end up. I'm thinking the AMG, it's pretty good here. It's probably not as good as the BOP that we had with the Porsche when we did the Barcelona and the RST Endurance series, but it's not too bad. The only place I'm kind of noticing a little bit of push is that right-hander, turn 3, the high-speed right sweeping turn. It's a little bit, you really have to wait for the front to hook back up, which kind of sucks. That maybe run a little bit more rear ride height or a little less rear wing would help that. But we're expecting some rain, so we're kind of making that compromise, right? In the rain, we want as much rear stability as possible, so we're anticipating that rain at some point. As you guys can see, it's a little bit cloudy, so that kind of should put us, in some rain conditions. Yeah, exactly, Zab. The left front tire wear is really critical. We're actually running higher brake ducts than we normally would, just to bring that front tire temperature down. Hey, Ron said, hey bro, where can I buy this game? You can get it on Steam, man. It's on Steam, and I think if you're on console, so Xbox or PS4, they have it in store, but I heard the console version is not as good. We're on PC today though, so we're playing it through Steam. One thing you'll notice too, I have RST pulled up, and I'm creating a new functionality with RST. So there's the ability to create overlays. So you'll see kind of a green check box in the middle of my screen. That's actually to show me when ABS is being activated, so I can start to threshold brake to make sure I'm not increasing my braking distance, right? So if you're curious when I get on the track what that green box is, that's what it is. It's just the ABS activation. Hey, what's up, Voodoo? How's it going, man? Hopefully you're having a good Saturday. You guys ready for some Formula 1 this weekend? So excited to have like real life racing again. Actually, last week I couldn't sleep, so I watched the GT Fanatec America series at Coda, and that was pretty interesting. But so glad to have racing again. So let's go ahead and look at some cars that are on track for you guys. And I just hid the HUD somehow. There we go. All these cars are in the pits. So race starts in about 5 minutes, so we just have a little bit of time. Zap said, I had a practice race for a league that's starting, got the front left tire to 1.68 millimeters in the Bentley 1 hour. Yeah, the tire wear is just crazy, man. I mean, you have to think about it. It's really a lot of high-speed sweeping turns. This is where you're going to put a lot of energy into that tire, right? The more energy you put into that tire, the more it's going to increase the wear. So Speed Demon said 3 minutes till the race starts. I'm going to get a drink really quick, and then I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. The race start is about to happen. I just want to get a drink because I'm not starting, and I want to have something to kind of make sure my mouth isn't as dry as it is right now. So just give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, we are back, guys. Sorry about that. Had to go get a drink. Hey, Marco, good luck, guys. So Marco is in the Audi today, guys, and he's in this race. Him and Napone. They are flying in practice. They're up in P2 in the practice, so we'll have to see what happens, guys. Could be anyone's game right now. We'll have to see what happens. But good luck to you guys, Marco. Hope you guys have a good, clean race and make it to the end. Earl said, hey, Zach, just a quick question. I drove the race yesterday with a McLaren at Laguna, and I noticed that I needed to put my brake bias way towards the back, 51%. And I also noticed that I usually use more brake bias, more back compared to my teammate. So it's my driving style or my setup that causes this. Yeah, so that's a great question. Brake bias is going to be very driver specific. The best way to check it is RST. Look at those wheel slip percentages. The difference is you have to think as some drivers, they carry more trail braking into the corner. Some carry a little bit less, right? As you start to add some lateral load from those tires, if you're still on the brakes, you're more prone to lock up, right? So if you can have the brake bias more farther backwards, you're probably not trail braking as hard as your teammate, which means you can run it farther back, right? If he's trying to run it that far back, and he's really hard on that trail
getting pushed. Good luck. Wrong push to top one. I only spoke to you.
No, you're good. That was Speed. He's also the admin for the server, so that's why he just blasted. I'm gonna turn him down just a little bit. He kind of had the voice of God for me. But we're gonna go ahead and push the race here, guys. So let's go ahead. We're actually gonna go into a. Hey Clifton, thanks for letting me know, man. But yeah, or else that's probably why. It's probably just how you guys trail brake. The slight differences there.
Just short fuel runs. You know, just put enough in to get to the.
Probably a lot.
Minutes.
But we're good, dude. You're out in front, so just be super wide in that Mercedes, and then when they pit for fuel, you'll have that clean air, you know. So let's go ahead. We'll go into
well,
this
being the
mode
pit
here.
stop we gain if they've got to put more fuel in than us.
Well, I thought you were saying they were probably gonna do less fuel at the start so they can get better position. So that's what I was saying. If you do that and they pit while you're still going on your first stint, because we're gonna do a full 45-minute on the first stint, right? That'll give you some clean air. I think a lot of people probably do what we'll do though.
They're putting the fuel in just another 45 minutes, not putting the full tank in like we are.
Yeah, true.
So they're gonna be putting more in the stop. Whereas we're only planning on putting fuel tires at the last stop.
Yeah, exactly. Hey Napone, what's up, man? It's Napone. Let's Marco buy into team for our pre-Marco buy team orders, man. I don't know. You guys are pretty quick. You'll probably pass this on track, man. No way, Clifton. What is your favorite part about RST, man? One of the reasons I ask is because we're constantly looking for ways to improve. Motec's a great piece of software, but we're trying to make RST a little bit more sim racing.
Stuff for down the straight like we did in the endurance race round.
Yeah, we just gotta make it super wide. Hey, 25 seconds, man. Just make sure you have the setup strategy. The tire pressures, are they the ones that you listed in the chat?
20 seconds.
No.
Okay.
They're the wets I put in there in case we need them.
Okay, gotcha. All right, well, 10 seconds, man. Enjoy it. I'll see you in a little bit. All right, let's see, guys. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. It looks like I have this stupid HUD. There we go. So we are the red-black AMG. We're starting on the outside of turn 1. So we'll probably file into P2, but let's go ahead and see. We're just doing a half formation start, so we're gonna be getting started here pretty soon. Thanks, man. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, we're trying to figure out ways to tailor RST to sim racing, right? All right, we're getting ready to start the race, man. Here we go. Green, green, green. Oh, a little bit. That Lexus in the back got a bad start. Let's keep the HUD up. It's gonna be really aggressive into turn 1. Let's see what happens here. Speed him and out, getting out front, turn 1. Nice. Let's go. Let's go, guys. I'll tell him when he gets on the straight here. Dude, what a start, man. What a start. Good job. Time to run now. All right. That was insane. That was such a good start here. All right, we don't really have to worry about traffic now. Let's go ahead and switch to this cam. Yeah, Clifton, that's actually one of the things with RST, right? Is, you know, not only do you know how to use the tool, Motec, which is kind of hard for a lot of people with sim racing, but you also need to know that math, right? And that's where RST is trying to step in, is we're trying to take care of that math for you guys. It's the same math I use for real life car dynamics when I help clients. We're trying to make that a little bit more abstract, so you guys don't need to know the math, you guys just need to know how to interpret the graphs. BPM spiking. What was it at, Zab? I didn't even look. I got all nervous, man. We're out in front though, so hopefully we can just keep it wide. We're kind of interested. They're probably running less fuel than us. So our strategy for this race is we're going to do 45 minute. We have a 45 max stint timer, 2-hour race, 45-minute driver stint timer. So what we're going to do is we've loaded for the full fuel for the full hour. So we come out 45 minutes, just do basically a drive-through. Right, just a drive-through. We're gonna get back on track. We're hoping people did less fuel so that they take a little bit more pit stop. We'll do that last 20-something minutes, and then when he'll come in, we'll do tires, driver change, and the fuel to take it to the end. So we're hoping the strategy plays off here, but we'll have to see. Hey, what's up, Marcus? Welcome to the stream, man. Hope you're doing okay. 86 on the start, 71 resting. Yeah, I love the BPM, dude. I think that's such a cool thing. Wait till I get in the car. I'm sure it'll be up there. Uro said 48 hour till next Zach setup tip, right? I really mind it does. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm trying to do them. Like I was gonna do them every day, but I just realized I'm gonna run out of topics to talk about. So I want to do them every other day, and on the weekend I'm gonna take it off just so I can do, you know, RST programming videos, things like that. But I hope you guys have been finding them really useful. I like to just. I hope they're readable. I kind of just brain dump into them. I'm not really paying a lot of attention to the grammar. Every time I reread, I'm like, oh, I can sound like an idiot. But hopefully you guys are getting value from those. But Speedyman's doing a fantastic job here. Keeping this Bentley in with the tail lights in the back. Thank you guys for joining me today. It's always so much more fun when we all hang out like this. Hopefully it's a good race. Only 4 minutes in. I don't know, Ronnie. You'll have to go to the forums and try to get some support, man. All I know is you can buy it on Steam. It's released already, so you should be able to go and purchase it now. Oh, that Bentley is right on us. He might get a good run here. We'll have to see. Okay, awesome, Russ. Super excited to hear that. This Bentley's right on our tail right here. Go ahead and look at this. What is the... Yeah, here we go. He's getting a good run here. He's trying to take the inside. Hopefully, speed didn't force him around the outside. No way you can... Oh, almost a little contact there. Again, remember I said we're going to have a little push on this turn 3 high-speed corner. We were going a little bit more conservative that center of pressure because we were trying to anticipate for rain. In that rain, that high-speed stability is going to really pay off there. So we're losing a little bit of time in the dry right here. But hopefully we can just keep the AMG super wide, and you know, a pass on the outside there is almost next to impossible. So hopefully that plays to our advantage. Doing a fantastic job though. You can tell this Bentley just has a little bit more speed than us on some of these high-speed turns where they're just getting the rotation. He's looking up the inside just a little bit here. Gonna tug back in. Oh, he's gonna take the inside here. Let's go to Helicam view. Man, he's all over us. Oh, the Lamborghini, they're gonna start battling. It looks like might give us a little bit of an opportunity to run away. We'll have to see. Great job, man. Great job. P2 and P3 are battling now, so it should give us an opportunity to kind of... Oh, never mind. The Oliver got into contact with the Bentley, so... Still got a little bit of a gap, though. Great job done, man. Keep it up. Let's go, guys. Good race so far. We always come out really strong on the race 1. Same thing with the RST Endurance League. We you know, we came out really strong. We won that Silverstone, that first race in the Aston at Silverstone. I'm starting to work on the setup in the AMG tomorrow for next week's 24-hour spot. Any tips for setting up the car for 24 hours? Yeah, so, you know, the difference between a hot lap and a race, and like a sprint race, right, is only an hour, right? You know, tire wear, brake wear, those things aren't as much important, right? And I call this kind of concept, I talk about in like one-on-one coaching, but I talk about setup evolution is what I call it, right? You're gonna have a really quick setup, but you're not really interested in like tire wear or how the balance changes over a full stint. In endurance racing, you want to really focus on that setup evolution. You want to make sure that the balance isn't changing, that tire wear is nice and even all the way around. And how does a car feel in different conditions, right? As the temperatures come up, does that balance change? As the temperatures come down, does the balance change? You really want to pay attention to that, because the whole trick with endurance setups is that lap time standard deviation. Getting that lap time consistency as small as possible is worth way more than just outright pace. So you just want to make sure a driver's going to be able to drive and push a setup. If it's not really changing, it's very predictable. So just pay a lot of attention to that, or else that setup evolution and how the balance is changing over the race in different conditions and things like that. That's actually one of the main things that takes us to do so long with our RST setup. It's something I don't show you on the stream, is we do a lot of analysis on the tire wear, and we make tweaks and stuff to get it where we want. We're almost a second gap here to P2. Medium is getting nice and settled now. Doing low 45s. All right, we're gonna go ahead and finish this calculator. So just ignore my leaning here, guys. Okay. And then fuel needed equals So right now I'm just making a calculator for us. We've been trying to figure out like how much fuel usage we need. So I'm gonna do this plus, we'll just do a safety factor of 3 laps. And let me know how the stream is, guys. I've been playing with the audio settings and you know, some of these different things, and so hopefully sound quality is okay. Hopefully the stream's nice and smooth for you guys, but let me know if it's not in the chat, and we'll try to fix it. Once I get in the car, I won't be able to fix it, so right now is a great time to kind of figure that out. Speedium is doing an absolute bang up job here, though. We tried to do a livery last night at like 10 o'clock. I did not realize how much effort has to go into those liveries to get all the things lined up. Man, it's just so much work. All the panels are on like different parts of the template, and it blows my mind how people can get everything so perfectly lined up. It's pretty crazy. I think next race I'm just gonna take the custom livery that you can create in the game, and then I'm just gonna slap some RST stickers on it, just so we have something that looks kind of unique. Yeah, that's a lot of work that goes into creating livery. Flack, he's the one that created the Silverstone and the Lamborghini, the one that had that gradient, which is really cool. And that was, man, that's so much work. It's so impressive. Oh, Bentley's getting a little loose. It's getting pretty these two Bentleys at the front, they're kind of battling here. Oh, a little bit of contact into the hairpin. What's out of sync still? Is my voice delayed to the video, or is the video other way around? It's probably my voice is slightly delayed. Let me do this. let's take the webcam and we'll just add. So I'm pretty sure I had to do this before, and when I recreated it, I didn't do it. So let's do filters. We'll do a delay, render delay of like video delay. So you hear my voice and then you see my lips moving. Should be the other way around. The audio should be behind the video. Testing. All right. Let me know if this is better. I put a 300 millisecond, so a third of a second delay on the video. Let me know if that's a little bit better. Should just be the webcam though. But let me know. That's the thing, like setting the stream up is always so much work. It's always like so many things are tweaking. This battle is insane. Okay, sweet. Thanks for letting me know, man. Appreciate it. I'm scared to talk to Speed Demon because it's just like so insane here. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the funny thing is I always joke with people like, you know, as if sim racing wasn't as big of enough hobby. Now I also have to set up a stream and set up RST. Like it's just never ending process of tweaking. You guys excited for the Formula 1 race that it's going to be this weekend? I know it's Catalonia, which is arguably one of the more boring races, but I'm still excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Yeah. Yep, it is. It's like, yeah, Clifton, it's something that you're just never happy with. You know, you always feel like there's some little tweaks that you can make to make it just a little bit better, right? Just constant like tweaking basically. And then something happens and all your settings get messed up, and then you're going back and doing it again. I think this Bentley's got just a little bit more pace in us. But Speed Demon's doing a good job keeping that thing super wide. I think they're gonna try to look up the inside here. Luckily, we had a pretty good run through there. Yeah, it can always be better. Even if it can't be better, we always think it can be better. Ooh, that Bentley got a little loose on the exit there. Almost contact between P2 and P3. Oh, P2 and P3 just got into it. P2 and P3 just got into it, man. Run, run, run. Wow, that was... We gotta watch that replay. We gotta watch that replay. That was so unlucky. It looked like P2 just got a little bit right here. Yeah, P3 just got a little bit too deep, or P2 just got a little bit too close, and they just totally got into contact with another. P2 is gonna have a lot of damage from that now as well. Yeah, let's just rewind it 5 seconds and take a quick look from top-down view. Yeah, he just went a little bit wide there. You can totally tell from this replay. A little bit wide, just enough to get into it. Man, that is really unfortunate racing right there, guys. But lucky for us, man. Now we can run away. Let's go. We were getting pretty nervous, man. Marcus said, the only reason I'm watching F1 is to see the progress. What just happened to our car? What? Oh, did Speed Demon just get disconnected? Speed Demon just got disconnected. Oh, shit. I might have to get into the car, I'm not sure. Wow, what? That's really unlucky. Wow! Are you kidding me? Yeah, he totally just DC'd. What do I do? I'm not even sure what to do, man. Should I disconnect? Okay. I've never been in this situation before. I'm just gonna disconnect because I'm not sure. Wow, that was a horrible time for his internet to go out. Well, we're... Okay, well, it says he's back in the car. Man, I have no idea what's happening. That might be our race, guys. That is super unfortunate. Why does it do, like, this game is so shitty with disconnects. iRacing, it just automatically switches you. Takes you back to the pits and switches you. Oh, he just went back offline. Well, it said he was online, then it said he was offline, so I just disconnect. So if... Okay. So if he doesn't come back online, we can't connect, I guess, right? Like if he lost internet, we're just out, I guess, right? Wow, that was horrible luck. We finally got a good running start. I was worried about this. Speedman's internet. The driver who connected first to the session needs to connect first again. So basically, whoever DCs, if they're like driver 1, you literally can't progress until they get internet back again. Is that what like you guys are saying? Because if so, that is a horrible, horrible design feature by Kunos. I don't know if he's coming back. Maybe get on Discord and see. Alright, I'm texting him. He just said his internet dropped, which we kind of figured, but let's see. I mean, even if we can't be competitive here, we got at least like drive. Like did some practice. I don't want to just not play now. All right. Well, what do you guys want to do? Should we do a Kyalami setup? I guess we could do the next setup in the series. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, unfortunately with a 2-person team, someone's got to beat driver 1, right? So that kind of sucks, man. I did some practice yesterday and I was really excited to drive. Had some decent pace here. Well, what do you guys want to do? You guys want to do a Kyalami setup? I mean, if we come back, we're going to be like 10 laps down at this point. Hey, what's up, Pathos? How's it going, man? You joined at the worst time. Our race is pretty much over, I think. A wet setup? Nah, we're not gonna do it. We're just gonna do dry setup so we can put them on RST. Curious, what cars do we have left, though? Let me pull up the Google Drive real quick. So, looking at the RST setups, we have the Audi, we have the Bentley, we have the BMW, we have the Honda. We have the McLaren and the Nissan. What do you guys want to do? You want to do like the Audi? Should we do an Audi setup at Kyalami? Might be fun. Kind of sucks. I was excited to race today. Let's see. Let me make a new livery real quick. Gotta go with that 88. I like to do like the base layer, this too. I think it looks so cool this way. And then I changed one of these to I like to do like just the accents a different color. I think it looks cool. Look at that. That looks slick, man. Love that. Yeah, let's do the Audi. I think that's a good choice. All right, let's do. Oh yeah, that looks. I like that. That looks sick. What do you guys think? Yeah, it looks really cool. I think. All right, that's the car. That's the car. We gotta change it to Kyalami. Well, Kyalami is good practice for me because it's literally practice for one thing I am gonna do though, guys, is I haven't done Kyalami in a few days, so I'm gonna load up the Aston, just do a few laps real quick just to get kind of warmed up, and then what we'll do is I'm gonna load in the actually let's do the Ferrari. I really like the Ferrari now too. Let's do a few laps with the Ferrari and then we'll switch over. And then we'll start doing some laps with the Audi and start doing the setup work. So let me just get it warmed up as a driver. Always super important.
Green light, go, go, go.
Good practice though. Love me some Kyalami, man. It's such a fun track. Type said, hey Zach, I want to ask you, when one wheel is cold but the rest are near green, how do you get the on specific tire to heat up besides brake ducts? Really, an ACC, man. So in real life, we can increase the bump compression dampening. That's going to add a lot more heat into the tire. You can also stiffen this car up, which is kind of what compression dampening does too. But now you're only affecting the compression cycle, not the rebound cycle. You can add a little bit more toe, adds a little bit of heat. But in ACC, those things don't really do that. I asked Eris about it. He said they are weighed in on the equation, but they just don't have the sensitivity, so it's not as a big of effect as what it is in real life. But brake duct is really the only thing you can do, unfortunately. All the testing that I've done, brake duct is really the only way to get another few degrees Celsius in or out of the tire. Let's get the tires warm. This Ferrari has just so much grip, guys. It's absolutely glued to the ground. So much downforce. Yeah, it's kind of crappy. Unfortunately, that's just kind of how it is. Alright, tires are almost at the temperatures and pressures. Yep, exactly. 95C is that limit, so. And I've been doing Barcelona practice for the race. I'm a little bit rusty here. Yeah, a lot of it has to do with the way the car is designed too. Like cars like the Lexus, they have a much better weight distribution, and it doesn't have that issue. I'm kind of curious to see what the Audi feels like here at Kyalami, to be honest. The reason I did the Ferrari instead of the Aston is the Ferrari is very similar to the Audi in terms of its aerodynamics. The Audi has a very far forward center of pressure. So does the Ferrari. But it's kind of a good car to kind of have a similar feel to. Alright, we still have a lot of time in this. Let's just get a little bit better and then we'll switch over. Nice, there we go. Look at that delta. Come on, baby. Kyalami is very much about being smooth and managing the low transfer. Setup feels so good though. Love this car. Look at that, 42.5. Wow, I don't know how that didn't get invalidated. Alright, let's just do one more lap and then we'll switch to the Audi, guys. Feeling pretty good now. Always just takes like a few laps to get used to it, right? We'll resync my watch up too. It looks like the heartbeat monitor got messed up. God, map 1 makes so much wheel spin on throttle. It's got so much torque and the low RPM range. I mean, look at this grip, Jesus. I think the reason I really like the Ferrari and it suits my driving style is you carry so much more mid-corner speed in it than the other cars because of how much downforce it produces. It's kind of reminds me of like an open wheeler almost. Hey, what's up, Marvin? How's it going, bud? Hopefully you're having a good Saturday. Thanks for stopping in. Alright, after we complete this lap, we'll switch back to the Audi, guys. Keep braking a little too early for that. Yeah, I love this. I mean, the air on this card is so nice, dude. Like, tracks like Kyalami, just so good. All right, let's go ahead and load up the Audi, guys. I'm going to go ahead and change the name of the stream real quick so people aren't like, what the hell? This is not a race. I'm also going to link my watch back up. Oh, it said application error. Okay, very cool. I don't want an application error. Let's switch this to the Audi so you guys can admire the Audi's looks while I set this back up. Why is this giving me an error? I wonder if their I wonder if their website went down. That's why the heart rate stopped showing. We'll just hide it for now, I guess. Their website, so the way my watch works is my watch streams to my phone streams to a server. I'm wondering if their server is down. I wanna like sign out, clear my cookies, I guess. Maybe that's what it is. Hey, welcome back. That's bad luck. Alright, let's see. I cleared my cookies, so maybe it'll let me come back. Demon just came back online too, so I think his internet's back. Let's see if this will let me log in. No, it's still. This is so dumb. Okay, well we'll just. Sorry about the heart rate, guys. It's kind of crappy, but nothing I can do there. All right, let's go ahead. What we're gonna do is load in the car.
Yo.
Hey, what's up, man? Really bad luck with that.
Oh, it's pissing me off, mate.
Yeah, it happened to you yesterday too, didn't your internet cut out at one point?
Yeah. We've been cutting out for a while.
Yeah, it's annoying.
I've upgraded my broadband, so I've got a new router. So literally everything from the plug-in is new, and it's still dropping. And I'm just
So
trying to go and call them, and the fucking shut at 8 o'clock.
Oh god.
See what the fucking crack is.
So what I'm doing, guys, is I'm taking the Silverstone setup for the Audi, and I'm going to use that as a baseline for the Kyalami setup. So I'm just taking that. I'm going into my setup folder, Kyalami. I'm going to paste this setup in there. I'm just going to go rename it too. I like to rename it in File Explorer. It's just easier, I think. Oh, no, it's all good. I switched the stream to do setup at Kyalami for the Audi. So I thought maybe I could like jump in the car once it got disconnected, but they were saying driver 1 has to reconnect first. And I was like, well, if your internet went out, there's like literally nothing I can do. So I feel bad for you, man. You got into P1 and then P2 and P3 got in a collision. So you had like a good gap and then literally your internet went out. 0.1. So we got the setup now. What I want to do is I want to get RST ready though. So now if I come in here and load this, I have the setup, but I want to get RST ready for these car parameters that we're going to load into it. So what I'm going to do is we have some data for let me see if RST, yeah, it's not gonna, the window capture is kind of janky. Okay, there we go. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna load up the Silverstone data that we collected when we were doing the analysis, and I'm gonna get the car parameters that way because I'm super lazy and I like to do it this way. It's just easier. We're in the Audi, and I'm just gonna take the car parameters and literally just save them as Audi Silverstone. And then what I'm gonna do is come in here, file, next session, car parameters, load those up. All right, we're good to go. So now what I have is the car parameters loaded in. I'm gonna delete this data, and now I should be good to go. So we are gonna go ahead. I'm gonna actually drag RST down to this window. Oh, why'd you do that? And one second, let me get this all set up, guys, and I'll read the chat. I promise I'm not ignoring. I'm just trying to get everything set up for the stream. It always takes me a little bit to get all of this kind of squared away, so just give me 1 second. Okay, we should be good now. So Earl said, I'm interested in the brake bias you'll use for the Audi here. I think I used 56 on the Kyalami with that. Okay, yeah, we'll definitely check that out. Do you focus, New Type said, do you focus more on trail braking or rotation with the brake bias in the Audi? Yeah, so that's a great question. Whenever we do our brake bias, we're obviously going to try to get that 1%, 2% higher on the front. But if I'm not getting the rotation that I need and I can't do it with the suspension, I will move it farther back. So we'll have to see where we're at here. And then New Type, yeah, I was just responding. So yep, we'll go ahead and take a dive now. So we're gonna go ahead and load the setup and see how it feels. So again, we're just gonna do a few laps to get used to it. Car pressures on the left are gonna need to come up. I can actually go ahead and do that now. I know the left hand side needs to come up about even with what the right hand side is, so I'm literally just going to even them up here and then just save it. And then let's go get some data. Look at First thing we're gonna do is look at those brake temperatures and tire temperatures and pressures, right? We're just gonna get that squared away first, and then we're gonna actually start talking about the setup, where it needs work, and go from there. A little burnout. Get some temperature in the tires. Yeah, exactly. The steering feels way heavier in the Audi than it did in the Ferrari. Probably a little bit more caster, maybe. So I'm just gonna hold judgment on the balance until we get a little bit closer to the tire pressures that I want. I would imagine that the Audi is probably pretty strong here. We'll have to see though. All right, as these pressures come up, we're gonna start paying attention again to that vehicle handling model, right? How's the car feel at corner entry, mid corner, corner exit? What's the car doing at those parts of the corner? And we'll start thinking about faces we want to make. Honestly, the car feels pretty good. It feels a little bit lazy on turn in to me. This feels a little bit delayed when I give it steering input. It just feels a split millisecond before I feel the car is actually starting to rotate. Nice and early on the throttle there though. Car feels really actually pretty stable. To me, it's actually a little bit too stable though. See a little bit push there. So I'm already thinking ride height is what I'm gonna want to change. Ride height's gonna give me more of that mid-corner oversteer, and it's also gonna help on corner entry. It's gonna be a little bit more responsive on that corner entry. A little bit of push there, not too bad. Just a little bit. Might look at the rear spring. Might need a little bit more rear spring. Erlos, we do all of our setups for a 23 ambient and around 28, 29 track. We try to do all the setups in the same conditions here. So one more lap and then we'll look at the tire pressures and temperatures. Pressures are a little bit high on the front. Rear is looking pretty much perfect though. With these, actually no, we're on the 2019 tire. 2019 tire want to be right around 28 psi. So the front looks good. Rear's a little bit low, but not too bad actually. So already a 42.4, not too bad for a full tank. I think this car will be pretty much a weapon if we can get a little bit more response though. This feels a little bit lazy on turn into me. We'll push through there too. We also have a very locked diff. Locked diff could really cause some push there mid corner at that high speed, so we'll have to look at that. This feels really good though. I had a little bit of push there, but I think I just went a little bit wide on the lap before. So I'm not really worried there. Yeah, we're almost doing 41s already with the full tank. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the Audi's just pretty quick here. Just got a good VOP. VOP can sometimes be up to about a second, from the best car to the worst car, to be honest. VOP makes a huge difference on performance, which makes sense because it's balance and performance, but it's not really balancing track to track, it's balancing over all the tracks, right? You should do the stream where we tell you what changes to set up. You do base off your VVAC. Nah. Why that? I thought the whole point of these streams is so you guys could understand like what changes I make and why I'm making them. I feel like that happens on Neil's stream all the time. Every time Neil's bitches about the setup, there's like 30 people in the chat telling them what setup adjustments to make. He gets so frustrated too. He's like, don't tell me a setup unless you put the whole logic there. And I just trail braked way too hard there. That was not the set, that was me. All right, let's go ahead. Let's go back to the pits. That was enough to look at the tire pressures and temperatures. And then you tell us if you agree or not. Oh, okay. So I see what you're saying. You kind of want... Okay, I see that logic. No, I see. Yeah, maybe we will try that one time just to like have some fun. But okay, we're gonna go ahead and look at the data now. So let's go ahead, let's look at lap 3. Again, you won't always want your laps to be, you know, a few laps in. Never do your data after just the first few laps because your tires are still coming up to temperatures, which means those pressures are gonna change and so are the everything else. So I just had to make this full screen real quick because it's annoying the shit out of me. Now I can't full screen it. 1 second, this might screw up the stream, but I hate how I can't full screen. Like I have to go to full screen back to windowed for that. But let's go ahead and look at the data now. So 42.1. So let's go to temps. We're gonna go to ABS, T's and P's. And first thing I'm gonna look at are the temperatures. Are we saying below 95? Are we above 77? On the front, yep, we're below 95, above 77. On the rear, yep, same thing. So we're in that tire operating window. So tire temperature looking real good. Let's look at the pressures though. These pressures on the front, what's that? The front right, 28 PSI, so really good there. Comes a little bit high in the final turn, but not too bad. 28.1 is really not bad. Again, 2019 tires, we want 28 PSI. Sorry, 2019, you want that 28 PSI. 2020 tires, you want that 27.5. So we're looking for 28 PSI because Kyalami, even though we're on the 2020 rule set, is a 2019 tire. So we're looking for 28. The front left gets about 28, so we're good there. Let's look on the rear though. Rear is 27.7 and then the front is 27.6, so come up about 0.2 psi on the rear. But before we do that, let's look at the brake temperatures, because if we need to come up on the brake ducts, like load the brake ducts on the rear, that's going to increase those temperatures, which we do. So I'm actually not going to touch the rear tire pressures. Me lowering that rear brake duct is going to move the temperature into the operating window, and it's going to add some pressure into the rears. So we should be good there. So I'm just going to add actually one little click on the rear left because it was one less than the rear right. And then what we're going to do is on the brake ducts on the rear, we're going to come down 2 clicks. That should get us up above 300 on the rear. You want the rear to be right around above 300 degrees Celsius. You know, if you have it less than 300, you're losing out a little bit of brake performance. So when you get on the high speed at the end of the straight, when the brakes are the coldest, you're losing a little bit of brake potential as the brakes come up to temperature. Once they get that temperature, you're going to get that maximum torque. But you want to try to apply maximum torque as soon as you get on the brakes, because you have all that downforce from going with a higher speed, right? So really, really important. So we just dropped the rear brake ducts 2 clicks. That should put a lot of more temperature in the rear, and that should also bring those pressures up in the rear right around that 28 psi. So it should be really, really good there. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this as version 0.1. This is basically the corrected pressure, so I'm just gonna rename this in RST as 0.1. And then what we're going to do, guys, is we are going to increase that rear ride height. Remember how I said it felt like I gave it a little bit of steering input. The car felt a little bit reluctant to turn in. It just felt like there's a little bit of delay there. That's telling me I don't have enough rear spring, or I don't have enough rear ride height. And having a little bit more rear ride height is going to add some of that corner entry response, which is what I'm wanting right now. So I'm just gonna bump her up just like 2 millimeters at a time, and then let's see how that feels. So let's save this as version 0.2. I am going to need to correct my car parameters. Anytime I change the rear ride height, I'm also going to change that static ride height. So we're going to go kind of slow on this first out lap to get kind of that static ride height value on the pit limiter. And then we're going to go and get some more data here. So we're just going to get on the pit limiter here. Again, we fixed the brake duct. That should bring the pressures up. That should bring the rear temperatures where we want. And we added 2 millimeters of rear ride height to try to get the response on the corner entry where we want. And I'm just going to go kind of slow in the pit limiter here. So when I look at the data, I know what the static ride heights are. Some people will stop on the track. I like to just do this. It's much easier. And then I'll look at that once we look up. So we're just going to go ahead now. So I like to get the tires first, new type. The brake bias isn't going to help me on the mid-corner push, right? I'm not on the brakes mid-corner, so that's why I did the ride height, and then I can set the brake bias accordingly. We are probably going to move it just back a little bit. That should add a little bit of corner entry response, but this mid-corner push through here, I just need a little bit more ride height. Yeah, much better, much better. So A2 Grove said, do we need to complete all the constant info before? Yeah, so you definitely need the car parameters in RC depending on what graphs you look at. I like to do the data of the lap first and then edit the car parameters for that lap in the session by clicking on the car icon. And the reason I do that is if I make a setup adjustment and I'm not going to analyze the data, I didn't waste my time entering the car parameters first, right? So I do the data. If it's something I want to actually start investigate and look at the data for, then I'll add the car parameters for that data. So it just doesn't, you can kind of work it either way. The important part though is if you are looking at some of the load calculations and stuff like that, you have the car parameters in there. And I am driving like an idiot right now. Right now it's at 59.6, yeah, so it's right around 60. It may be a little far forward. I'm definitely engaging the brake bias a little bit. You can actually see that little green square on the screen. That's actually the brake bias. I have an overlay in RST that kind of tells me so I can trail brake a little bit better. So you can see it's getting activated pretty early on. So we'll have to look at that. Might be a little too far forward. Yes, feeling a little bit better. They're already 42.1 with this car. Absolutely weapon of a car in terms of pace. Yeah, response on the corner entry feels much better. Pretty consistent here though. Able to get on the throttle maybe just a little bit earlier there. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad habit to do them at the beginning. It's just everyone's got a different workflow, and you know, there's multiple ways to do it. So I always want to kind of explain, just in case one way works for people better than another way does, you know. Alright, let's try to push here. Let's see if we can get a good time. On throttle nice and early through there. Alright, we're up at 10. That's a nice thing about having a little bit more response corner entry. It allows you to get on the throttle much earlier because you're getting the car rotation done early. A little too much rotation there. Oh, yeah. I took a bad line through there, just went a little bit wide. That inside corner before that uphill right-hander is sometimes kind of nice. It sometimes gets you a little bit more rotated, but sometimes if you take a little bit too much, it actually causes you to go wide. It pushes you out a little bit more, and that's what happened there. So I think I'll have to see. I think the 2mm is almost too much. I almost like just want to split the difference between the last setting and this. I think that'll be perfect. This is on it's not too bad, but it's just a little bit too sensitive for me now in terms of how like responsive it is on the corner entry. I'm a little bit more aggressive than some people. I think we go down just 1mm on the, so we went up 2. I think we split the difference. I think it's really going to put the car in a really good spot. Tire pressures look perfect though. Oh man, that was good. It's a pretty decent track. It's for the qualifier for the GT America, so I've been doing it, and I know a lot of people asked for this track when we were doing the setup poll. So I'll have to see. Nice, there we go. Just up just a little bit, right on the cusp of a 41. It was supposed to be Barcelona, Mohammed, but unfortunately the race got canceled, or not canceled. Speed Demon lost internet connection, so we had to switch and do something else, unfortunately. Yeah, the setup feels really good. Funny how close some setups are really close to Silverstone and some are a little bit off. Okay, so we did a few laps there. Let's go ahead and look at the data. So first things first is we need those static ride heights, right? So what we're gonna do is let's compare the data first. So you can see, you know, the front temperatures are pretty much the same. The yellow and green is the new data, and you can see the brake ducts by going 2 clicks down on the rear. Now we're in that like kind of operating window, right? We're like right around 300 C every time we get on that peak. We could probably go even like 1 click lower. Let's look at the tire temps though. The more I decrease that rear brake duct, the hotter the rear tire temps are gonna get. So you can see the yellow and blue, these or the yellow, sorry. These are the yellow and green are the new tire temperatures. So the front's getting up to about 82 is the hottest, and the green is 81. So not too bad there. Let's see what the rear is. Rear is only getting up to, the hottest is 86. So yeah, we could still go 1 more click down on the rear brake duct. Voodoo, Speed Demon lost connection when we're in P1. So unfortunately, we had to switch and do something else. So we're, instead of ending the stream, I decided let's just go ahead and switch it into a setup stream. But yeah, I know Speed Demon's kind of frustrated. This is the second night his internet's disconnected on him, and we were in a really good position. We were in P1, so unfortunate for that to happen. But yeah, let's go on the setup. We're gonna go down 1 more click on the rear brake duct. And now that should put us right where that rear wants to be. And then we'll save this to 0.3. And then I'm gonna actually split the difference between the last ride height and this ride height. So we're gonna use 62 instead of 63. But let's look at that data first. So remember how I said the static ride heights would be different. Let's go to dampener speeds. And then you can see, you can't really tell from this data, you know, where that point where we were just on the pit limiter, but you can kind of see here. Well, if I go to time, you can see it's much longer now. actually, it's not this one. It's this one. Yeah, so it's much longer. Like if I just look at distance for this, you can kind of still see it here, but sometimes it's not as obvious. So always switch the time. But let's go ahead, and the front is right around like 12, and the rear is right around like 17. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, so this needs to come down a little bit. So this is going to be 12, and this is going to be 13. Now I don't have the ARB rate, so I need to go pull up our calculator real quick for that. I'm calculating the ARB rates for this car. We are using, let's see, I gotta type. We are using 3 and 4 for the ARB setting. So it's 17. The ARB on this car is pretty stiff on the rear, actually. So 34.5. I know, Voodoo, it's pretty sad. Oh well, nothing you can do about it, you know. No reason to be upset. I thought we would do pretty well though. Okay, 34.5. Okay. So that should give me the ride heights now. So let's go ahead and let's just look at the pitch and roll grading here. So you can see 0.383. Let's see what it was before. Pretty close to the same. But yeah, it was just a little bit too much. So let's go ahead. What we're gonna do is we're gonna split that difference. Let's see if that one click less rear ride helps a lot. Let's actually, while we're waiting though, let's go ahead and look at the wheel slips like you guys were talking about. So first thing is let's look into turn 1, because turn 1 is gonna be good, a good indication. It's kind of a little bit uphill, so we'll have to be careful here. What do you mean 120 over 10? So Uros, that the 120 that we've set on the RC, that is a guesstimate. We actually know what the actual values that ACC uses. We're working on getting it in an update where it does it behind the scenes for you guys. But I'm actually looking at the game values. But yeah, it would just be whatever your 120 divide by the number of clicks times whatever your setting is. But for me, I actually know what the game's using for each click. But let's go ahead. Let's look at the end of the brake zone, kind of where we're starting to trail brake here, right? And let's go ahead and look at what this difference in front and rear slip. So the front, on the inside, we're gonna lock up a little bit more. It's unloaded, not as much of a deal. Let's look on the right-hand tires. It's a left-hand turn, so right-hand tires are a little more important. And you can see 5% slip on the front and 4.45 on the rear. So a little bit more slip on the front, which is what we want. We don't want more slip on the rear. It's gonna get a little bit oversteery. And then you can see, 4 or 5. So really, really close here. So the brake bias actually is really good. I don't really need to make any adjustments here. If you're going lower on brake bias, you're probably trying to get the rotation because you're really lacking the rotation from the other parts of the setup. So definitely something that we can do, but honestly for me the car feels really good with this a little bit more rear ride height. So let's go ahead and I'm just looking at one thing real quick, guys. Looking at the inner middle out. Inner middle out on the rear is 6. Inner middle out on the front is 6, so pretty good there. Toe looks really good. Tire wear is looking really even across. Yeah, actually really happy with this setup out of the box from the Silverstone setup. I think we're gonna make a few dampener adjustments, but let's try this ride height adjustment first and see where that gets us. So this is version 0.3. We just finished on here. This is 0.2. Hey, what's up, Andrew? How's it going? Hey, what's up, Simon? Welcome to the stream, bud. We're just doing a RST setup stream. It's good practice for the US opener as well. Yeah, one thing you have to think about is if you're using brake bias to get rotation where you would normally want the rotation of the car anyways, that becomes very driver specific, right? Because now the amount of trail braking you are using is the amount of rotation that you're inducing in the car. So it's a lot more sensitive to how much or how little trail brake you give the car, right? Some people like that. It's really good for hot lap mode, I think, but for endurance racing where you can get a little tired, your body might, get a little achy, it's a little bit more of an ask for the driver to be that consistent rather than having a car that naturally wants to rotate, right? So a little bit just different philosophy, but there's a lot of different options you can go. And man, this one less rear click of rear ride height is feeling really, really good. Let's see how the rest of the car feels though. One thing is I do get a little bit of push in on the bottom on that right-hander. It's a little bit bumpy there, so we might look at a little bit more rear compression dampening. What that's going to do is as I get on throttle, as that lateral load transfer or the longitudinal load transfer comes backwards, we're going to load up those rear tires more, which on the bumps could get us a little bit more rotation that we need. That won't affect the mid-corner behavior. It's just going to be that corner exit behavior, so it's definitely something that'll help in that uphill right-hander that won't affect these other turns. So if you like the rotation, but the slip is not bad, definitely look at adding the lateral stiffness distribution backwards. So either decreasing the front, increasing the rear. The way you know is if the car feels twitchy, so corner entry is a little twitchy, the response is a little bit high, unload the front to move it back. That's going to move mid-corner back to a little bit towards the oversteer, but it's going to reduce the response. The opposite is true if the car feels very lazy, but it's understeer mid-corner, increase the rear spring. That's going to add that response back on corner entry, but now it's going to add a little bit more oversteer mid-corner. All right, let's I was still talking this lap, so this lap's gonna be a little bit slow, but next lap our tire pressures are looking good, and totally just drifted that whole corner. But what we're gonna do is see if we can get a little bit more time out of there. So splitting that ride height on the rear definitely gives me that response exactly where I want it. Now the car kind of turns in when I ask it to, and it's not a little twitchy. When we went 2 clicks on the rear, it was just a little bit on the twitchy side. The Audi has a more forward center pressure. It's a little bit more aggressive on aerodynamics than some of the other cars, so it's a little bit more sensitive. So you just gotta be a little bit more careful on the ride heights there. Rear tire pressure is a little bit high now from skidding down that right-hander. Let's see what we do this next lap. Every time I talk on stream, my conscious or focus goes down a little bit, and my lap time as a consequence goes down. So let's see. See if we can get in the 41s with full fuel. On that curb, gonna help you just to get a little bit more rotated. Got a little loose on the exit, gonna lose a little bit of time on the straight. Not too much though, still looking good on the delta. Too much on that curb there. You really want to get on the throttle really early through there as well. It really helps you get really good exit speed. But we totally messed this lap up. So let's just take it easy and we'll push again. Earl said, I had a problem with the McLaren getting center of gravity 5 to 10 higher than the lateral stiffness. It was almost the same no matter what I did. It was around 60. Yeah, it might be just the car parameters you're using, bud. It should change quite a bit with springs. It'll change a little bit, but not as much with the ARB. All right, those rear tire pressures are a little bit too high. So let's go ahead and make that. I think I'm getting a little loose on the exits because of it. So we're just gonna go ahead and knock that down. 26.3 and 26.2. And then we're just going to resave that. Again, as you're making these changes, so we increase the rear ride height. Now we're putting more load on those rear tires. they're gonna heat up more. So just something you gotta continuously, even though you set the tire pressures and temperatures, you're constantly gonna be coming back to them. I wonder what this car would do with like less fuel. If I'm doing right at the cusp of a 42 flat on full fuel, probably easily be in the 40s on a hot lap. Yeah, just a little bit more compression damping. Just get a little bit more rotation there would probably be really, really nice. So we'll definitely look at that. Just to nick that inside just a little bit. Alright, tire pressures are close enough. Let's see what we can do here. A little deep in that, but we're still up on the delta here. Didn't get loose on the exit. We're gonna see the delta go up. That was really early on the throttle through there. There we go. Come on. Get green. Super early on the throttle through there. Took that corner a little bit wrong, but it's okay. We were able to salvage our mistake. So up about 2/10. Good exit through there. Using the whole track, 3/10. Come on. Very nice, guys. Very nice. Yeah, car feels legendary now. Dropping those rear tire pressures up just a little bit through there. A little too much rotation there. One second, guys. Let me do this lap and then I'll read the chat. It's just really hard when there's a lot of text, especially when I'm trying to evaluate the setup changes here. So we're down to 10th, but it's okay. We made a few mistakes. Alright, I'm super happy with this setup, guys. It's feeling really, really good. I'm gonna make that compression dampening just to get a little bit more rotation. See if we can get a little bit better. Oh, just murdered the curve there. All right, now we can read the chat. So let's go ahead and return to the pit. And New Tide said, okay, big question for everyone, but I'm wondering how to corner entry washout. I know front toe in or decreasing rear toe out helps along with the rear ride height and preload, but is there anything else? Yeah, ride height is going to be the #1 most sensitive thing, even more than the front toe. Front toe will help, but rear toe, you're going to really unload that rear tire really, really quickly. Same thing with rear spring. More rear spring or more rear ride height is really going to add more corner entry, really increase that corner entry response, right? So if you're finding yourself unsettling the car on the corner entry, like you're just giving it a little bit too much steering and the car gets unsettled, it's probably because of that ride height or that rear spring. But toe and things are also pretty big. Preload will be a little bit less. Preload is more the mid corner behavior. Rider, yeah, Rider is definitely a hard car to get set up. I actually haven't spent a lot of time doing the Porsche Cup or Rider, mostly the GT3 and some of the GT4. GT4 is pretty limited in what you can do. But let's go ahead and what we're gonna do, guys. Car feels really, really good. Not really any complaints, not really having any issues. Let's look at the data, see where we gain the time versus the original data. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the first from the setup, the baseline setup, and take now our setup, and let's see where we gained all that time. So now I'm gonna go to driver. Let's go to overview, and you can see through this fast right-hander how much more speed I'm carrying through there, right? So like you can see right here, look at all this speed that I'm carrying through this right-hander that I wasn't able to carry before. And the reason why is that ride height was just a little too low. So when I got off the throttle, I was getting a little bit more rear back center pressure. I was getting a little bit of push, so I added more rear height so we get that rotation done early in the corner, so I can get on throttle nice and early. And we're carrying way more speed through that corner now, which really, really helps. So setup feels really legendary, guys. Really not any complaints, but we are going to make an adjustment here. On the uphill right-hander, sometimes if I don't just take the perfect line, I don't get the rotation I need. So that is actually this corner right here. You can see when we get on the throttle. Yeah, like right around here is pretty much right when we get on the throttle. So let's look. I want to show you guys something with this corner. A lot of times you're like, hey, do I need to increase spring or rear ARB? Well, what about dampeners, right? Dampeners are going to isolate that corner entry or corner exit. Well, this is corner exit. Let's see if it's very bumpy. If it's really bumpy, we can mess with the dampeners because they're going to add a lot more of an effect to that rotation, right? So if I'm trying to get more rotation on the rear, I need to load up the rear tires quicker. So if it's bumpy and I want to load up the rear tires more, I can increase that rear compression dampening, and that'll give me more rotation once I shift that load transfer backwards. Yeah, we can take a look at roll gradients. So you can see they're pretty close because we didn't really make a change. We didn't change the spring or the rear ARB, right? So they're pretty close to being the same, honestly. 1 millimeter of ride height, it's really not going to be something you can measure in terms of the roll gradients on here. Changing the ARB or the rear spring would see a pretty big delta here, though. So what I want to do now, guys, is let's go ahead and I want to show you that part of the track is bumpy. So I'm going to uncheck this. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to what am I going to go to? I'm going to go to dampener speeds, and we're already zoomed in, and you can see how bumpy it is here on this right hand, right? So this is when I get on throttle for the first time, which is that kind of over that crest, that left-hander curb. But then mid corner, this is mid corner, I still have some bumps here. So if I increase that rear compression dampening on the rear, it's going to load up those rear tires more at this kind of point, which is going to give me a little bit more rotation, which could help me if I take just a little bit off of a line, right? If I'm at the limit, I'm pulling more lateral G's, but I'm not getting the rotation I need. So if I've made a mistake on the corner entry, I'm just hosed, right? And I have to lift, and you do not want to lift on that uphill right-hander. It's really, really bad. So what we're going to do is look at the dampener histograms just to see where we're at. What I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the rear compression dampening in the low speed, and that should help in this section. Actually, what we could do is just affect the high speed, right? Because these are definitely in the high speed compression range. So we'll do that. We'll just affect the high speed, because if we do the low speed, that'll keep the cornering and the other corners the same. So let's just go ahead and increase the rear high-speed compression dampening. So what I'm gonna do on the rear, we're at 17. Let's go up to about 20. I always do my dampening increments at about 3 on these the Olin 40 dampeners, just because it's such a small difference here. So 20, we went up 3 on the rear, and let's just go up like 1 or 2 on the low speed. Everything else felt really, really good though. Don't need to make any adjustments there. So this is now going to be 0.4. Let's save this as 0.3. Don't remember what that data was. And then one thing I do want to look at is here. Where are my ride heights? That should be pretty much the same. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I did change these ride heights. So I went from 62 to, oh, I'm at 62, okay. Wait, what was the original setup at? Oh, okay, yeah. So we went to 63, then we went to 62. Okay, that makes sense. Let me make sure. I'm curious about the rear brakes too. I didn't check the temperature that the rear brakes are getting to. So let me go to temps, brakes. I'm just curious what the rear brakes are getting to now. Yeah, they're getting way up, but they're still good, right? They're not above like 600 on the rear, so we're still good on the brake temps. Okay, let's just try this dampener adjustment, and then let's see where we're at. I'm actually curious. Let's go to lateral stiffness distribution. So you can see this kind of portion right here is when we start getting that mid-corner push. And you can see it's moving upwards as we get that mid-corner push out. Let's go ahead and go back now. Now we've made that adjustment. Let me make sure it's just saved here though. Yep, we're good. Earl said, so the rear will be hard to push down, making the front more loaded, which will make the car turn more. Yeah, we're basically trying to exceed the grip on the rear sooner, right? So we stiffen it up, right? So exactly like you said, Urs, we're gonna hit that bump, it's gonna load the rear up more, which will just give us a little bit more rotation. New Type said, Zach, I wanted to pick your brain on this question, but I've noticed a lot of alien drives are about 60 to 80% on the rear rebound dampers, with the rest taking a wayside 20 to 40%. My question is that a good baseline damper? What do you mean by 60 to 80% on the rear rebound dampeners? Do you mean like 80% of the full on the reason they do more on the rear rebound is it gives you more rotation and corner entry, right? That trail braking on the low speed corners, more rear rebound's gonna unload the rear tires quicker. So on trail braking, you're gonna unload the rear tires more. In the low speed, high speed, it's gonna keep the diffuser low to the ground, right? So it's not gonna have the same effect in the high speed corners. But those low speed corners, it will give you more rotation quicker. So that's why a lot of the aliens do it, because it gives them that rotation early in the corner like they like. Let's go ahead and switch back though. All right, let's see what this feels like. So I shouldn't really notice much of a change in the setup, except for that high speed section. Oh, and the temperatures are not there yet, Zach. Do not push. I always do that. I always try to push the car before the temperatures are where they need to be, and the pressures. So easy to do. So New Type said, okay, then my next question would be, do they base that on where the engine placed in the vehicles? So aliens, they just go out and they adjust it based on feeling, New Type. So they're not doing it, most of them are not doing it with anything other than, hey, I need more rear rotation. Let's add a little bit more rear rebound. the amount of rear rebound you need is going to depend on the car. It's not just the weight placement. Even though that can influence it in some ways, just go off of the best way is go do some laps, right? If the corner entry feels lazy, then it might be you need more rear ride height, might need more front toe out, you might need a harder rear spring, but you might add some rear rebound dampening, right? So you just got to figure out where those make sense. And a lot of times it makes sense to do those other things if you already have a rebound bias on your histograms, right? So typically what I'll do is I'll go and say, okay, I want to do this with my dampeners, right? Mid corner feels good. I don't want to touch my springs or my ride height or my toe, which will all affect steady state. What you can do is then do it with the dampeners. Well, if you already have a rebound bias though, it's not going to help you that much, right? So you just got to be mindful. There's really kind of no rules of thumb. You just kind of have to make the best compromise. All right, we're down because I was talking, but let's see if that turn feels better. The uphill. A little more rotation there as we get on the throttle, which is nice. Nice. Yeah, that feels really, really nice. We messed up the entry, but let's see if we can do a good lap this time. Yeah, these are all things that we go over the one-on-one. There's just like too much to explain it through the stream because I really need to draw some diagrams. But dampeners are really good at isolating the transient parts of the corner versus the steady state, right? So that's kind of where it makes sense to use a dampener, because if the corner entry or corner exit doesn't feel good, but mid corner feels really good, right? Because if you use springs or A or B or toe, that's all going to affect mid corner. Obviously, if mid corner is already a little bit twitchy, and then you add more rear spring to get the corner entry even more responsive because it's a little lazy, then your mid corner is going to really suffer now, right? So dampeners are a great way to do that. Same reason why we did it for the corner exit for this corner. All right, we're doing good on the delta here now. Slowed the car way down too much. All right, here we go. Yeah, I took a horrible line there and I was able to bring it back to where I wanted to, so definitely made a little bit of an improvement there. Just making a bunch of driver mistakes now. Still doing low 42s on fuel. Fuel is nothing to shake at though. I was watching the Jardier stream today and their team was doing like mid 42s with the Audi. So I think a low 42 is really, really good place to be. And start to write things down. Yeah, there's just so much to learn when it comes to car dynamics. Like, even myself, I'm learning stuff from like some of the people that are posting on like F1 technical and stuff. You just got to start somewhere, right? And it's really hard for people that are getting started because everyone likes kind of like these truths, right? Things that they like, or kind of like rules of thumb that are always true. And with car dynamics, that's like never the case. There's always some kind of caveat or like operating range, which it doesn't always hold true in, which kind of sucks. I mean, it's a little bit hard to learn, but once you learn it, it makes a lot of sense, and it's a very valuable tool to learn, right? Because now you can set the cars up how you want to as a driver. You don't have to be dependent on us or Coach Dave or anything like that. You can just do what you need the car to do, and it gives you a little bit of an edge. when you're trying to compete. But yeah, I'm really happy with the low 42. Again, if they were doing 42.5s with the Audi Jardiers team was, I think this is a good place for this car. They might have had a custom BOP, I'm not sure. Would explain a little bit of a difference here, but I think we're right where we need to be. Car is very easy to drive too. This is actually a very tame car, which is kind of funny. You don't think of the Audi as being tame. Yeah, super consistent, pretty much within a tenth every lap. Yeah, caveat. Yeah, it's so true though, man. So I am going to make an adjustment to the dampener. I felt like the low speed, I went up 2 on the low speed. I'm just going to do it on the high speed, I think. And then just move that difference just a little bit down there. So everything else feels really good. Let's look at the wear real quick. 293 on the front, 2.9 on the rear, 293 on the left, 294. So the tire wear is looking really good. I'm super happy with this setup, guys. I think we've kind of figured out the setup. I'm going to go ahead and save this as 0.5. This will be the setup I send Speed Demon. The way we do our setups is I do kind of this baseline here, which just feels the way I think the setup should feel. Speed Demon's going to do a full stint. We're going to look at the tire wear. We're going to look at the setup evolution, and we're going to make some tweaks from that. But he'll look at the data, and then we'll go from there. But setup feels really good. Super happy with that. We're actually going to go ahead and do a race now. I always tell people when you're doing these setups in hot lap conditions, you always want to do some type of race, right? If we try to optimize the setups for hot lap, sometimes they're a little bit too on the edge, and then when something, someone breaks out in front of us, like mid corner or something like that, we just lose the car, right? We want to make sure we have some little bit of stability margin in there so that we can account for things that kind of pop out of nowhere. So we're gonna go do a race against the AI, which are really good for testing randomness and issues like that. So we're gonna test out raceability is what I call it, and see how we do it. Nice. RST Discord on top. I love it. I know, new type. I just get lazy to actually hide them. If someone really wants to copy the setup, then go for it. The main reason we charge for them is just the time invested that we put into it. It's not like it's something that I'm like depending on. Well, let's go ahead. We're gonna do the quick race. I'm gonna do like a 30-minute race, guys, because I'm kind of bummed that we didn't get the race earlier. So we're just gonna go ahead and do this. Same conditions. All right, what we're gonna do is load that version 5 setup up, and let's get it. Same conditions as the hot lap, just well, not hot lap. We do the practice, because the reason we do practice instead of a hot lap mode is so we can run full fuel. When you do with the hot lap mode, you can only do 10 liters, right? Which kind of throws things off. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to go ahead and start dragging the brakes here. Again, just trying to get some temperatures into these brakes, which will then add some pressures into the front tires to help me get them in the range. We're far back.
Green light, go, go.
Not the best start, but let's take it. We're gonna get a few positions here. You can see now my brakes into turn 1 are nice and green, so I should have nice, good brakes into turn 1.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Hey, I get a little bit slow turn 1, but I promise they get better as the race goes on. But it's a little bit cautious at the start of the race. I knew that was drifting a little bit to me there. Again, this is why we test the raceability. Alright, so back when I was first starting racing, I just clicked on random stuff and iRace, and learning that way. Came back after 5 hours and did the proper line. Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's how a lot of people get started. It's a really good way to start developing that driver feedback, right? Driver feedback is a very important part of doing setup work. And if you try to jump into telemetry without understanding the changes and how they manifest and how they feel, you're gonna really struggle, right? So I think that's a really good place to be. Little dirty air there. Already up into P9 though. Gained like 6 positions on that start. Other Audi is a little quick. Getting a lot of time there, right on the back of this Audi now.
Yellow flag ahead. Charge in front.
Someone went off track. Gonna be a little bit of a mess here. Try to do a inside out. Nice, right on the back of this 25 Audi now.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
They always break a little bit early into turn 1. I know that looked like a dive bomb, but they always do that. Yeah, the Audi feels pretty good. I mean, the setup feels really nice and predictable. You know, I had to jump on the brakes a few times there to avoid contact. Didn't really have any issues. But this is why it's really important to do races with the setups, right? If we just do them a hot lap, we might be a little bit too much on the edge. See if we can make a move on this McLaren coming up here. Already into P7. Yeah, the MX-5s are sick, man. They're so much fun on the iRacing. Oh, he's squeezing me on the outside here. He squeezed me onto the grass. Jesus, the AI are scary in this game. But I was gonna say the MX-5s are a lot of fun, but the problem with them is if you make a mistake, there's nothing to save you, right? Like there's no power to kind of mitigate the mistake, so really comes into not scrubbing a lot of speed.
Well done, mate. Yours is the best.
Alright, let's see if we can catch this 69 McLaren, who almost tried to kill us. Kind of remind me of the Bottas Russell incident. We're side by side.
Clear on the right.
Alright, we edged out just a little bit ahead of him. Went a little wide here. Gonna get a bad exit. Not too bad. Nice. Look at that Delta come up. Come on. Gotta push. Trying to catch this pack up here for a podium. Overslowed the car. Hey, what's up, Pharaoh? How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Alright, we got a good Delta now. So important to get back on the throttle at that point. This Audi's quick here, guys. Very quick.
Well done, mate. The fastest lap so far.
Alright, let's see. We're gonna push it. You can use that curb just a little bit to get you rotated, but it's really easy to over-rotate through there, especially in these cars. Ah! Oh, we carried a lot of mid-corner speed, though. It's going to help us in the time delta here. Still can't believe we're doing low 42s with fuel in this car. Absolutely blistering fast. Really trying to open up the wheel here so you can try to reduce the amount of wheel slip. The amount of wheel slip is so crucial here because this is such a long straight. These two are battling here. See if we can get a gap. Can't see that apex at all. That Ferrari just covering it up. See if we can do it under right here. Over under. Nope, just a little too far back. Alright, we're gonna try to take the outside. Oh, that was a little bit move under braking.
Clear on the right. Car on the right. Clear on the right.
He backed out of it. Thank you. A little wide there. Oh no. That's unfortunate, Napone. Yeah, we got unlucky with our race too. I don't know if you knew we got DC'd, so that's why we aren't in the race. Alright, we need to stop making these stupid mistakes here. Up into P5 though. 4 and 3 right ahead of us. I'm not sure what times they're doing. We just gotta minimize the amount of mistakes we're making here. Yeah. So sad, Napone. We just got a good gap too. The P2 and P3. Speed Demon came back and he was like really upset that his internet went out. It's all good though. We got a good setup out of the Audi here at Kyalami. I think we're slowly catching these guys. Look at that mid-corner speed. Come on, get in the 41s. Oh, don't go on the inside there. It's bumpy. .3, come on. New Type said, Zach, you are the prime example of seize a day passage. What do you mean by that? This always busy. Have you guys tried the new RST beta, by the way? It has that driver checkbox thing. That is so nice when you're trying to learn a track. Oh, there we go. Come on. 1.4. Rider at Laguna sounds horrible. Oh yeah, thanks for that, New Type, man. I try to always have a positive outlook on things. I used to get so frustrated with stuff I couldn't control, and you know, the wisest thing that everyone ever told me was, you don't worry about the stuff you can't control, just worry about the stuff you can control, you know? And it's so true. People always get so stressed out, or they worry about stuff that like there's nothing they can do, you know? Challenge accepted. I haven't really driven the Rider that much, to be honest. What makes it so bad? Oh no, it's lagging? It doesn't look, looks good on my end. Oh, yeah, it looks like I'm not getting the full bandwidth here. Oh, no, there goes that whole delta I had going there. Oh yeah, my internet's going spotty, guys. No. Oh, dude, my upload for a second was like 40 kilobits per second. That was crazy. It must have like got behind and then just dumped it all at once. All right, I lost so much time looking at that now. All right, let's see if we can catch back up. Oh, mid corner understeer. That's the worst. Yeah, a lot of people, the reason they get corner exit oversteer is because the lack of response on the corner entry. They're still trying to make the corner when really they should be straightening the wheel out. Spoke too soon. Yeah, I'm sorry if the stream starts lagging, guys. My internet connection is being really spotty now. It's probably because of like COVID and stuff. See if it'll come back. If not, I apologize. Yeah, we'll see if it comes back. It's like hovering right at 5,000. It needs to be at like 16,000. All right, one second. Let me try this. I'm gonna go jingle the jack because sometimes that works. I'm not even joking. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna come back, guys, unfortunately. No, yeah, it looks like my stream is just like losing all these frames because of the internet. Let's try closing out like Gilded and stuff. Maybe it'll help. There it goes, like 12. It's trying. All right, I think it's gonna come back. I think it's just acting up a little bit. Let's see if it'll come back. This being really, there must be like a bunch of outages or something, guys. I do apologize for the stream. Unfortunately, there's just nothing I can do about it. Let's see if that jingling the jack helps. We'll just continue on, and then after this we'll end the stream. So I don't want it to be too bad for you guys. We'll see if it comes back though. I need to see, my problem is I need more upload speed. I only get 50 megabits up, and when it goes down it's an issue. Okay, well I think it should come back. It's at 22, so that's pretty high. It's like almost 30 megabits up. Dude, I tell you, it's the jiggling of the connector. Something about that jack is just messed up. We'll see how it goes though. We still got 15 minutes in the race, guys. About halfway done now. We're almost caught up to these guys too. Okay, awesome. Yeah, it's just whenever this the internet connection starts going out, like it just gets spotty. And I pay for 50 megabits upload speed, and I have it to do the stream at like 15 megabits, so I should have plenty of headroom, but it just, you know, ISPs, they never give you what you're fully supposed to get. So I'd like to be able to order like 100 up or something, but Cox, our internet service provider, literally don't have any higher packages with higher upload speeds. But thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. Sorry about that. Yeah, very true. We were just talking about that, right? Being able to not worry about things you can't control. And then literally right when I'm talking about that, there's something I can't control happens. That's hilarious. Yeah, last time you said it was working, it started going bad again. Come on, get off that traction control. Let's go. We're still turning quicker laps than the guys ahead, so we're slowly catching P2, P3. I have 12 minutes. If we could just catch these guys, we might have a chance for podium here. Up at 10th already. Man, that was a lot of mid-corner speed through there. Got on the throttle nice and early too. I think this is the hardest corner because it's so easy to get loose there. All right, man. Have a good time. Thanks for stopping by today, hanging out on the stream. It's always fun when you guys come chill on stream, so I appreciate it. Hope you have a good rest of your Saturday, new type. It might have stopped because it was having issues earlier and YouTube just freaked out. Let's see though. Braking way too early for that corner for the level of grip that we have. All right, we're doing just pretty close to the same lap time now. They can hear me coming. Really leaning into this turn. Turn. Yeah, it's a little wide there. Definitely a track warning. Kept the Delta pretty close though. Didn't really lose too much time. Alright, we got it down to 1 second, guys. Come on. I like these straights because they can get a drink. My mouth gets so dry from talking and commentating on these streams all the time. Nice. That was a really good exit. It's really gripped up for me. A little too much trouble right there. That's why these setups is really important to have some stability, so when you do crash over that line, it doesn't kill you. It's interesting, they actually don't get anywhere near that curve, do they? Lost a little bit of time through there. Took a bad entry. Eight more minutes. Man, these guys are quick. Oh, he's diving up the inside. We're right there, come on. We're gonna go side by side into turn one. We're gonna get a lot of ground right here. Nice.
Car on the left.
Too wide into this turn.
Clear on the left.
All right, we got one done. Lost a lot of time to P3 though, because I had to lift so much more than I normally do. Let's see if we can chase him down though. Took that turn so wrong. Sticking with him though.
Warning for exceeding.
Oh, I got another warning, man. Alright, let's minimize these mistakes. I want to get a P3. Chasing him down. Alright, let's see if we can make it happen. Got 5 minutes, so we gotta make it happen in the next like 3 or 4 laps. Oh man, he broke so early. I'm gonna lose so much time through there. Was not expecting to break that early. Maybe too far back now. Is it acting up again? Yeah, we'll just end the stream after this, guys. Like, it's just gonna continue to act up and there's really nothing I can do. Yeah, it's going down again. Alright, we should be able to do 43s. Making all kinds of mistakes. Now we're just gonna be lucky if we hold off P4. No! Ah, alright. That's totally my fault.
Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the left.
Oh, you kidding me? Gave him a little love tap that said let him know I'm still
Car on
here.
the left. Clear on the left.
Wow, broke so late there. I would have lost the rear. He's trying to hold the inside. Totally took that wrong now.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Alright, we held him off.
Car on the left. Clear on the
Ooh, a
left.
little contact from him. He's getting a little testy in the back. Alright, got 2 or 3 minutes. Just gotta keep holding them off. Yeah, this car, it does feel really nice here. It's a lot of fun to drive. Yeah, he is. Ooh, almost got another track warning. Oh,
For exceeding track limits.
yeah. Man, the amount of grip this car has here is really good. Nice, that's a good lap.
Leaders on the final lap.
Man, we're just a little bit too far back. We definitely would have had that P3. Yeah, 42.2. This car is quick. I know, I need to be a little bit more chill. I think if this was my personal setup, I'd probably run a little bit more ride height just to get that rotation at that bottom, or maybe a little bit stiffer rear spring. But I think for most people this is going to be the better setup for them. I think it'll be a little twitchy for most people if I went just a little bit more. But yeah, I don't want to lift at that uphill right-hander, so I'd rather get the track warning. Not gonna get it this time. Man, the corner exit is so good in this car. I'll take that. Pretty good pace of this car.
Alright, checkered flag. Good job.
Oh.
I'll bring the car back.
Yeah, definitely could have had that P3, but I will take that. Starting for a P15 to end at P4 is a really good drive, I feel like. Let's watch the replay just a little bit. First thing I want to check though is the tire wear. So tire wear is 266, 254, 257, so it's a little bit more on the rear tires, honestly, wearing them just a little bit more on the rear tires. So probably when we do the setup with Speed Demon, we probably will make a little bit of a tweak to the setup, probably a little less rear toe. We have a lot of rear toe in this car right now. We'll probably reduce that just a little bit just to bring that tire wear where it needs to be. Still kind of within the bounds, but just a little bit on the more of the rear tires, which is not too bad for me though, but definitely probably look at it. But let's watch the replay real quick. I just want to watch like the race start real quick. Okay, this is lap 1. Love that livery though, and doesn't that look good? Love it. Super clean looking. Yeah, this is insane right here. Oh, had to really jump on the brakes through there. Man, this game is so beautiful. Look at that. That looks so realistic, doesn't it? Absolutely insane. Too wide through the high-speed right-hander. Went a little bit wide there just because I had to brake a little later. He's looking on the inside. Didn't let it know. Gave him the room, but got a better exit. Man, that car just looks so nice here at Kyalami. The body language just looks perfect. Let's see what this one looks like. Most of these passes I did on to turn 1 just because the AI took a horrible line through there. Yeah, see, turn 1 again. They just over slow the car. It's better to get on the inside curve and get the car rotated. Went wide there. Alright, let's go to the end here. That was a good battle right up. Yeah, right up here. Alright, yeah, here we go. I think I made the move here around the outside. Yeah, look at that. Ooh, yeah, he just got way loose on the inside, didn't he? That's all it took for him. That's all it takes. Yeah, that car felt this really, really good. To go from P15 to P4, I think, is a testament how the car felt. But this is gonna go ahead and be it, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Sorry that the stream changed. I will change the title of the video and the thumbnail because it's not a Barcelona race. But thank you guys. This setup that we did today, this is going to be part of the Kyalami setups that are going to go on RST on the website. And that's racingsimtools.com/setups. We have about 4 more cars to do. We'll do streams for those cars so you guys can see my thought process. I can tell you guys some of the adjustments I'm making and why, and you guys can ask questions about RST like we did today. Again, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys learned a lot. If you have any questions or anything, please let us know in the comments down below or on the Discord. I'll try to reply to them as much as I can. If you liked the video, if you didn't like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Any kind of activity helps bring people, helps the YouTube algorithm. If you like the channel, we try to stream. I try to do videos where we talk about setups. We talk about the dynamics. We do some racing too. If you like it, go ahead and hit subscribe. I try to stream every other day. But that's going to be it, guys. I'm Zach from Racing Sim Tools, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your Saturday. And I hope you guys enjoy the Formula 1 race that's going on tomorrow. Until then, I'll catch you guys later.